Right, so it's time for the worst albums of 2022. If you guys haven't yet checked out my other end of the year list videos, go ahead and check it out. Link is in the description down below. I did the best and worst album covers of 2022, and then I did the most disappointing albums of 2022. So now we're going to be taking a look at the worst albums of 2022. Now, once again, this is my opinion, so if you guys don't agree with me, then comment down below your worst albums of 2022. I would definitely love to see uh, what you guys think are the worst albums of the year. And also, I would like to say that I don't go out my way to listen to bad albums. These are just the albums that I've listened to that I ended up being my least favorite albums of the year, if that makes sense. So, yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Coming in at number 10 is Feed the Streets 3 by Roddy Rich. I used to be a fan of Roddy Rich, but his last two projects weren't that good. I let his last album slide just because it came out during the end of December. I think towards the end of December, and so I let it slide. But I wasn't gonna let Feed the Streets slide, just because I enjoyed his other mixtapes, his other Feed the Street mixtapes. But this one, it just wasn't it. There wasn't that many songs that I could even remember. And the project was just forgettable by itself, honestly. And including the features, they weren't that good. And there wasn't a song that I could come back to, like his debut project or his Feed the Streets 2 project. I feel like those ones are far, far better. And it's honestly pretty disappointing that Roddy Rich has put out two bad projects. I feel like I don't know. Maybe I just don't like his music anymore, or maybe he's just putting out bad albums. Number nine is Me versus Myself by A Boogie with the Hoodie. This is another artist that I love. A Boogie with the Hoodie. All his other projects prior to this one are great. Are great, including Artist One and Two and Hoodie Season. But this project, honestly, there wasn't any song that I could come back to. Any song. Like all his other albums have songs that I could come back to and listen to and I could put on my playlist. But this album, there wasn't any song, honestly. And so throughout the whole project, I just felt bored. I felt bored, especially since the album is like an hour long. I don't want to listen to a boogie for a whole hour. And I also want to say he took too long to drop too. I think his last project was in 2020. Yeah, 2020 wasn't that long ago, but it felt long. So I don't know. I feel like he should have dropped 2021 just to keep us eating. So I don't know. I'm hoping for a Boogie to redeem himself for his next project. Number eight is God Did by DJ Khaled. Yeah, besides maybe three tracks on here, I don't think the project is any good. um, which is kind of expected because I don't know DJ Khaled. Every single time he drops, I just know it's gonna end up in my top 10 worst albums of the year. Number seven is "It's Only Me" by Little Baby. Again, this is another artist that I do like, but this project it felt just it felt like the same song over and over and over for a whole hour, and there wasn't anything outstanding or any track that felt like a hit or any songs that I could put on my playlist. And Little Baby is an artist that like makes songs for the gym, but there was like no song on here besides maybe Never Hating that I could put on my gym playlist. And it sucks because Little Baby, I know he could put a good album out. I know he could. He just has to eliminate the quantity and focus on the quality. Number six is Come Home, The Kids Miss You by Jack Harlow. Yeah, I was expecting this one to be a pretty bad album, and I guess I got what I was expecting. Um, I don't know. I know when this album came out, a lot of people were disappointed, which honestly surprised me because like, why were you guys expecting for Jack Harlow to put out a album of the year contender? Like his last album wasn't even that good, so why would this project be an album of the year contender? If that makes sense. I don't know. I just felt this album was lazy. If you heard First Class, then you pretty much heard the whole album, honestly. Number five is Honestly Nevermind by Drake. I will give Drake props though, just because he tried something new, and I've been somebody that always wanted to see Drake try something new because he keeps making the same album again and again and again. So I was surprised by this project, and I would applaud him for making something that he hasn't done before. To make a full project like this, it takes courage to do something like this, especially if you're a big artist. But yeah, with that being said, this project's still bad. It doesn't really live up to a house album. I only really like three songs off this, which are Flights Booked, Overdrive, and the last song on here, which is Jimmy Cooks. Those are the only three tracks that I will probably come back to, but the rest of the album I could do without it. Number four is Exino, I think is how you say it, by Ray Brown. The first like four tracks on here is good, but the rest of the album I could care less for. It just felt boring, and it made me want to turn the album off after like those four or three tracks. If an album makes me want to do that, then it's pretty bad. And coming in at number three is Vinyl Days by Logic. I know a couple of people really enjoyed this project. Me personally, though, it wasn't that good. And it's a long album, too. Like, I don't want to listen to Logic for an hour and a half, I think. It's too long, honestly. It's too long. And I don't know. I just feel like Logic is just rapping about the same thing throughout the whole project. Like, we get it. You retired and you came back for a reason. We get it. I don't want to listen to you talk about the same thing throughout the whole album. And I think that's the problem with Logic. I feel like he just raps about the same thing every single project. Like he doesn't try to do something else. I feel like if he like really settles down and like try to make an album like he used to, like Under Pressure and like Incredible True Story, I feel like he could put out a good project. But I don't know. I just feel like he's just been talking and rapping about the same thing ever since everybody. Number two is SoundCloud Days by PNB Rock. I think PNB Rock has the same issue that A Boogie has, in that he took too long to drop as well. I know he dropped like a mini EP like last year, but his last full length project was in like 2019, I think, or 2018 probably. It just took too long, and I don't know. I feel like his like in terms of his like quality, I feel like it dropped. And SoundCloud Days is I'm not sure if it's a mixtape. I'm pretty sure it's a mixtape, but I don't know. I just didn't really enjoy it at all. Besides maybe lately, but other than that, the whole project just was forgettable, and it was pretty bad. And number one, "Too Alive" by Yeet. I know I'm gonna get hate for this, but yeah, I don't see what you guys see in Yeet. I really don't. I tried to get into him. I don't think I'm going to get into him. Maybe Yeet isn't for me, but I just feel like he's too repetitive. I don't see the talent that you guys see in him. And for that reason, I didn't really check out his last project that he dropped, just because I didn't really like this, and I know if I listened to that project, probably wouldn't like it. So I think that's it when it comes to Yeet for me. I don't think I'm gonna be checking him out in the future. And Too Alive is just too long and too repetitive, and that makes it boring for me. And if you guys enjoyed it, then good for you. But anyways, that is it for the end of the video. If you guys did enjoy this video, go ahead and leave a like. And stay tuned for the best songs of 2022. Until next time.